Hey everybody, West Texas Stacker here. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's good. Hey, today I'm gonna take y'all on a little treasure hunt. So I grew up in Central Oregon, and one of the first times I ever heard this story was, I think it was in the fifth grade in elementary school. But I'm gonna share the story with you. It's about lost treasure. Actually, it's the Army payroll. This article that I found is from the bulletin over there, the Ben Bulletin, and it was written in 2005. So bear with me with this, but it's an interesting little story, and it just might be true. Um, there's been some people that have tried to debunk it, but nobody really knows in particular. So it starts off with jutting from the south bank of Primeville Reservoir along what was once the Crooked River. Skeleton Rock is a jumble of lava rocks, said to contain 50,000 in gold. That's a pre-inflationary 19th century dollars. So it was in 1870 when John Holt and a friend named Jack held up the mail stage carrying the Army payroll to forts in southern Oregon and northern California. So on this particular run, there was also a shipment of gold. Jack, which I'm assuming was the more aggressive of the two, he dispatched the stagecoach guard, and the pair made off with the mail sack and the strong box. Riding hard to the west towards the Crooked River breaks, their plan was to cross the high desert and the Cascades, eventually drifting off into the Willamette Valley. You know, just two dudes on the run, right? They were going to head over to the valley and try to blend in. But what they didn't know is that during that time period, the Paiute tribes up there in the high desert were there was some raiding parties going on, and these two, they actually came under an attack from the tribe there in that area. It says, but they failed to plan for an Indian attack, according to pioneer Crook County rancher Elton Carey, who heard the story in 1925 when he was 15. A small band of Indians ambushed the outlaws near the Crooked River, and a wild chase ensued. They shot Holt's horse out from under him, and the robbers scrambled up the rock wall on foot, the mail sacks and the gold in tow. The men took bullets. Jack unalived from his wound. Holt buried his partner and the money, and under the cover of darkness, slipped past the Indians, escaping up the willow-choked river. He made it to Prineville, which is a town in Central Oregon. He made it to Prineville, where he received medical treatment, but before he could get a horse and ride back for the gold, he was arrested by an Army patrol. After spending several years behind bars, Holt was pardoned and lost no time in going back up for the loot. But by the summer of 1925, his eyesight was failing, so he hired a young man to guide him back to the rock, where 2 days of fruitless searching, they gave up. On their way back to town, they met up with young Elton Carey, and Holt's dubious guide told the boy the story. As soon as Holt and his cohort rounded the bend, Carey and his older brother headed straight for the rock on the river. According to Carey, we had dug only a foot or so when we began finding bones, teeth. Then we found a rib and arm bones, but no bones from the lower part of the skeleton. We found pieces of rotting wood and steel straps made from old horseshoes, which could have been used to strengthen a strong box. But when we had dug as deep as we could in the crevices, we still found no treasure. And I mean, this is folklore that's been, it's been passed around. I'm sure if you're in the area and you ask some old timers, they'll be able to share the story with you. There's a pretty well-known book author from that area, Rick Steber, and man, he writes some good books, and he's all about the history of the Old West, especially in Central Oregon. So somewhere out there, there's about 50 to 64,000 in gold hidden up there in the rocks. It's just crazy that that it was never found. And I think it's still out there. I mean, this Carey, he's pretty adamant, that he believed the story. He says, we searched but never found the other half of the skeleton. Carey wrote in 1977 of his time spent at Skeleton Rock. Of course, we didn't find the treasure either, but still believe it's there for someone just waiting. Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe it's out there. They say that behind every story like that, there's a little bit of truth, but there could be 64,000. That's 64,000 in gold and pay, back then. So who knows what it would be up to now. I know a few years ago the water levels in the reservoir dropped really low, and those old roads and bridges down there, from when they built the Bonneville Dam. I'm sorry, not Bonneville Dam, the Bowman Dam. I'm sure there's all kinds of lost treasures out there somewhere. I was talking to an old timer out there one day, and he had told me that he fell asleep next to these rocks while he was hunting, and he woke up and he had something shiny on him anyways that he had sitting next to him. And well, I know how that is, being out there hunting and thinking, you're up early and you're just going to sit at the spot and wait, and next thing you know, you doze off. Well, anyhow, this old timer told me that he had dozed off out there, and this pack rat came and traded him out for some of his shiny stuff, and they put a couple pieces of gold there next to it. I don't know if y'all know about pack rats, but they will collect shiny things, kind of like raccoons, but these are just desert animals. So could it be out there? And if y'all have any lost treasure stories, please feel free to share. Make a YouTube video about it. I mean, who knows? It could very well be, it could very well be out there. I know, the Jesse James gang had hidden mason jars full of stolen loot all over, some places in East Texas and Missouri and whatnot. This was just my little bit of history, Central Oregon history. I do believe it's true. And maybe one day somebody will find it. Or maybe somebody already did and they just never said nothing. Simplify, God bless. Hope y'all enjoyed. Shoot me a thumbs up and a sub if you want. Have a great day.